In terms of published work, the Chickasaw Press is releasing 3 new books this fall.
They're books that provide insight on Chickasaw people, culture, and traditions.
We're featuring each of the books, the authors, and the artists. Here's the first preview, a children's book.
This is the beginning. Okay.
For Glenda Galvan,
this represents just 2 of the stories.
This is her first look at the pages of a special Chickasaw book.
The book title is Chickasaw Stories, Shared Spirits, Volume 1.
Glenda, a Chickasaw storyteller, shares traditional stories in the book. Jeannie Barbour illustrated the characters, animals teaching life lessons.
In fact, all the stories in this first book are animals talking to one another and animals interacting with one another. It was back during a time when animals could talk to one another, so ancient times. When I illustrated the book, I tried to think in those terms, that this was early times, this was ancient times, everything was new in the world. And so the animals are illustrated in such a way that they're whimsical, they're kind of confused, they're learning about the world, just as the children, you know, that you're telling these stories to are learning about the world. The illustration that I like the most in the book, I think, is when all the animals are on the raft and they're just piled on top of each other.
The book is a compilation of Chickasaw stories passed down over generations. Glenda and Jeannie spent years gathering the stories, some from their own families.
Some of them are clan stories, which belong specifically to my family. And then some I've gleaned from other elders, tribal elders.
But this is what it's going to look like in the book. It's just very exciting and wonderful to know that my ancestors knew about these stories, that they've been around for hundreds and hundreds of years, and I've taken a part in this process of maybe passing it on in a new type of medium to another generation. These are our ancestors' words, speaking to us down through the centuries, speaking to us. What their thoughts were, what they thought was important, during their time period for their children to know. The same things are important today as, say, 500 years ago.
Through words and illustrations, these 2 Chickasaw women bring to life these tribal stories. The book is also a tribute to Chickasaw elders who kept the stories alive.
It had to have been important. It had to have been important to them to carry these stories generation after generation. And I just have felt called, Jeannie can tell you, I have felt called to do this. Not necessarily a book, but to do the storytelling, to reach as many people as I could with these stories so that they wouldn't die. Because they're too valuable, they're too important.
It's very important culturally, not only preserve it, but use it. Use it as part of who you are, as part of what your identity is. And these stories do that for us.